Warning: the following podcast contains mature subject matter and coarse language. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next chapter in Agents of Change and the last chapter in the first mission for our new agents. I'm your Dungeon Master, Ian Taylor. Joining us tonight is the wonderful Matthew Portelli as Caleb, the Human Barbarian. Michael Mason. Mason, what do the numbers mean? Playing as, not Mason from Call of Duty, but he's playing a human artificer slash rogue by the name of Marius Stakhanov. And last but not least, we have Jomo Baker as Marjani Ovion, the lovely human Twilight Domain cleric.
Aw, thank you.
Few announcements before we begin. Unfortunately, Heifer Chowders as Elandria, the Fire Genasi sorceress, and Red as Kenobi Bud, the appropriately named Emerald Dragonborn, will not be joining us tonight, unfortunately. However, the second thing I want to mention is that Fridays may or may not work for me much longer. I may be aiming for Sundays. Nothing is set in stone. It's just that Sundays are A, the only day I have off from work, guaranteed because it's variant shifts, and B, if I go up to my dad's house or anywhere else in that matter, I'm usually brought back on Sundays. But again, that's up in the air. Nothing's guaranteed yet. And third, but not least, we are getting a new player for next week. Because, as I promised, for each mission, there will be a new player. However, the details of the player and the character they're playing as, you're gonna have to wait and see. And that goes for you too, audience members.
Is it Bob? Bob the Indestructible Acrobat?
Yeah, it's not Bob the Builder.
Aw.
Unfortunately. But Indestructible might be somewhat close. There's your first hint. So, let's get right into it. Previously, on Agents of Change. Jomo, you're gonna love this. Our agents managed to get into the airship party with a little bit of trouble, and unfortunately had to end up splitting up to enact on their plan to take Clayton into custody. First off, Kenobi went to the back of the airship to carry on their facade, and working in the kitchen, pretending to be a worker and nothing more. Meanwhile, Marius and Elandria had a run-in with a member of House Denif, a house devoted to battle and vigilantism in the city, by the name of Oriana, who claims that the woman that killed Clayton was killed on her turf, and that Clayton needs to be taken to House Denif for quote-unquote proper punishment. Not only that, but Oriana offered to pay the agents and offer the agents further support from her house in the future if Clayton is brought to her for proper justice. Elandria said she'd take this under advisement and left with Marius to continue with the mission. Soon after, Marius decided to isolate Clayton and began warning him about people looking for him and other strange suspicious topics. Only for Caleb, as part of the plan of course, to sneak up behind Clayton and knock him out cold with his mighty barbarian strength. At that point, Marjani and Kenobi met up with Clayton and Marius, as Marius breaks one of the windows and casts Featherfall on the party and the unconscious Clayton, as they all, including you, Marjani, skydived out of the airship and landed safely near the Dark Lantern's hideout without drawing much attention. Meanwhile, Elandria pulled a Charm Person spell on Marius's father and head of House Caniff, in that case, and convinced him that she is to be wed to Marius, and to allow for further business propositions after the marriage. They managed to be successful in fooling him, which even gave Marius and Elandria a free pass as Marius' father began to consider suspicious suspects for the kidnapping of Clayton Lawson. As a strange barbarian with a shifty cleric and dragonborn are brought to his attention by one of the guards, they became the new primary suspects in their investigation.
Okay.
As we now... First off, we'll get to the rest of the party later, but for now, let's go to Elandria and Marius and Cog as they enjoy the wonderful luxuries of the party.
Okay.
We find Elandra and Marius back in the airship's dance floor, and at this point, it's getting pretty close to the end of the party, and it's getting pretty late. While all the guests are slow dancing or just passed out drunk on the floor, the changeling musicians play a very calming soliloquy with their violins, as they've now shifted into tabaxi, while they balance playing the violin and climbing the walls with their very flexible bodies. The magical lighting emanating from the chandeliers has died down ever so slightly to fit the mood, giving the chamber a warm, comforting glow without feeling too bright. Cog is slowly rotating in a bad attempt to match the other dancers, while Elandra is currently dancing with you, Marius. Is there anything you'd like to do while you two are dancing the night away?
Well, everybody knows that Marius is very nervous.
So your face is just beet red the entire time she's dancing with you, and she's like, Marius, you look more red than I do.
He's trying his best to look as calm as possible, as composed as possible. I guess that would be kind of a concentration check, wouldn't it?
It would be a wisdom saving throw.
Or just
Wisdom saving.
Show me a roll.
I mean, like a performance at least to see how well you actually dance.
Oh yeah, why don't you do both? Make me a wisdom saving throw to see if you keep your cool, and a performance check to see how well you actually dance. Thank you.
Could I actually, because it's more a dexterity-based thing, use my acrobatics for the dancing?
I'll allow it.
Okay. So there's my wisdom saving throw for
I
my
can
composure.
hear someone's bird in the background.
That's my bird, I apologize.
No worries, he'll be a wonderful
Squeaky.
guest.
He's squeaky, squeaky.
As a parrot begins to fly around the chamber. Whose parrot is that? Oh no! Just came out of a cage! So, wow, not only do you manage to keep
23.
your cool, with your beet red face suddenly just shifts back to your normal pasty, pale skin as you begin more comfortable with the situation, and you actually do a pretty impressive dance. It's a very slow dance, so there isn't a lot of pressure to pull off any good moves, but you're actually leading, and you're pulling off every move at just the right time, at just the right beat, and Elandra just kind of says, last thing I expected you to be was a good dancer.
I am of a house, and the son of the leader of the house. They'd have to teach me something.
I suppose I probably should have told you about the ambush. But where's the fun in that?
That kind of took me by surprise. I mean, don't get me wrong, as he kind of gives her a look up and down. It's a pleasant surprise, but marriage?
Why not? You know, two houses could finally get along. I could have a place in the city. Come on, wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't you like to tell your father that you'd have grandkids one day? Not that we actually have kids, just let's break the ice right there. But come on, it'd be fun. We don't actually have to do couple stuff if you're not comfortable with it.
It's not that I'm not comfortable with that type of... Well, I am not comfortable with that type of stuff, but that's just because I'm 16 and I've never done that type of stuff before.
Married at
I'm
16,
not much older.
yikes.
But
Why don't you have a seat right there?
Yeah. Why don't you take a seat?
Why don't you take a seat right there?
But I'm not opposed to this. It's just... I just met you. Like,
Well,
the
then
real
this will be
you,
a
first
perfect-
off.
Then this will be a perfect chance to have us get to know each other.
Well, let's start there and see what happens.
All right.
Tell me about yourself and where you're from. Things like that.
Well, I am an outsider, as you've probably guessed. Between you and me, I did have a bit of a high upbringing. Not unlike you. You know, I've spent my time in nobility of sorts, and... well, let's just say things became a bit messy, and I had no choice but to come here.
So, a deposed noble, basically.
You could say it like that. I'd like to think of it as more of a... improviser.
When we're in private, I think I'd like to learn more about you. Especially if we are going to go down this road.
Same goes for you. After a few minutes, before too long, you see your father approach the balcony, and you see your father approach the balcony, but this time with Valeria and one of the guards staying by his side. As he clears his throat and yells out with the music suddenly coming to a halt, he yells out, excuse me, can I have your attention, please? It's come to my attention that we've had a bit of a break-in of sorts, and the crowd kind of begins to kind of whisper between each other. He's like, no need to worry. The proper authorities will be handling this soon. But I must insist that you all stay behind for questioning, of course. And once again, I do apologize for the inconvenience. We will be landing shortly. Thank you. And the whole crowd just begins to look confused and kind of talk amongst themselves. And Ash kind of even notices you, Marius, and kind of steps over. It's like, well, I'll be damned. Didn't think your father wanted you anywhere near a fancy party.
Ash is the girl, right?
Yes, Ash is the girl.
Okay. Well, I've been working on things. You saw me working earlier today. I'm trying to change for the better.
Huh. Well, is that why you didn't come into work this morning? Gave me an awful workload. And Lantern just kind of chuckles with her.
He blushes a little bit and he's like, yeah,
And she's like, but do you know anything about what's going on here? Fauna mentioned something about kidnapping?
Yeah. Come over here. And I'm going to lead Elandra and her over to the corner.
You see a halfling with prim and proper clothing and short black hair kind of tug her shirt. It's like, oh, well, what's going on, darling? I thought we were heading back to your place. It's like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. Look, I'm just gonna talk to my friend first, alright? It's like, alright, well, don't take too long, and don't let these pricks at the front gate bug you or anything. I'll make sure we can just go home scot-free. And, you begin to walk away, kind of take her into the corner, and Cog very awkwardly, like, dashes towards you, too, and just stands inches away from your face.
Okay.
What's going on?
I'm just talking to my friend about stuff. Don't worry about it, Cog. Just keep an eye out so people aren't eavesdropping, okay?
Very well, then.
Thank you.
And his head just begins rotating 360 degrees like a lighthouse.
Cog, a little less obvious.
He slows down a bit.
Okay. So, earlier tonight, there was a House Deneth member here. She was, and I kind of scanned the room to see if she's still here.
House Deneth? What the hell are they doing here?
Well, this is the thing. My lady friend here, Elise, and she pulled us aside into a bathroom. And she told us that Clayton had killed somebody. And that she was here to bring him in. I was a little worried about this stuff.
This isn't funny, you know.
I'm not joking. Ask Elise. She said this. So once I got out of the actual bathroom with her, I went and I found Clayton. And I pulled him aside to talk to him about this and to tell him what's going on. People came up behind him and knocked him unconscious, and then I got knocked unconscious. And he was gone.
You right, kid?
Well, I got a little bit of a goose egg, but I'll survive.
Hey, hang on, let me fix that up. And she kind of takes out a handkerchief, wraps it up into a little rag, kind of like a little ball of sorts, and places it behind your back, and kind of uses her metal glove and kind of snaps her fingertips, and it begins to grow like ice cold and gets covered in a sheet of ice. As she kind of touches the rag, it becomes a lot cooler, to a very comfortable degree, not to a freezing degree. And he's like, can't keep getting banged up like this, kiddo.
Yeah, I just wish I could have done more to help.
So, you believe her when she says Clayton was responsible?
I don't know. The way that Clayton was acting when I talked to him, I think he might have been.
Holy shit. Marius, if your dad finds out about this, he's gonna freak.
Well, this is the problem. I have to talk to my dad about this. And I have to figure out what's going on.
I can't fucking believe that prick. God. Alright, there's... Fuck, I have no words. I don't even know what to say. Just the other day, I was shooting the shit with him like nothing happened.
Well, this is the thing. I've known him for a long time, too.
Yeah, me too,
And
Bill. Me too.
He doesn't seem like the type of person that would do that. So it brings up my question is, why? Why would he do that? What brought him to doing that?
Well, hopefully we find out sooner rather than later, but... If he split the party, something's telling me we'll never know.
I'm not sure if he split willingly, though. Like I said, they came behind him and gave him a good conk on the head.
Well, wait a minute, you don't think that House the Neath member is part of this, right? Because I know they're a bunch of loons, but they aren't the kind to break into parties and kidnap people.
I don't think my dad thinks that. He thinks it's some...
Yeah, of course he does.
Other people. But if you think about it, House Denise stated that they wanted to get her, or get him, and would do whatever they could to do so, to me. And then the other thing is, he had his gauntlet on. House Orion is always in competition with us.
Shit! Yeah, that's right, he left with the gauntlet. Oh my... Well, no wonder House Orion started to give a shit. They wouldn't have cared as long as they left the invention, but... Oh, man, it's just one thing after another. I'm gonna be talking to those guards for a while, but... You two better split. You don't want to be a part of this drama. Oh, shit! I'm sorry I had to get wrapped up in this. Oh, man, I don't even... You got a place to stay tonight? You know, I know things are kind of awkward with your dad right now. I don't know if you're... I don't think you want to take your lady friend to your dad's house, if you ask me. I've been through worse. Trust me, not much.
I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
Well, you best find your place to stay in until this blows over, alright? Less drama, the better. How's the Neath? I never thought they'd... Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion... What did I roll?
9.
9.
She says like... House Denny's full of a bunch of loons, but... They aren't exactly clever enough to plan a break-in like this. But, that's just me. If you father thinks otherwise, well... thinks otherwise. And just about as stubborn as you are, Kiddo. She kind of punches you in the shoulder playfully as Cog actually legitimately punches you in the shoulder. Well, looks like you got a few kinks to work out. This one has no kinks. Those weren't the kind of kinks I mean, Cog. Man. Yeah, if only you weren't built by a murderer, man. And he wasn't. Kind of, like...
I built him.
Well, he had his hand in it, though. Hard to shake that off. But we can always learn to do better. Isn't that right, Cog? Statistically speaking, there's a 50% chance of, potentially changing for the quote-unquote better. I'll take that as a yes. Alright. You two should probably clear out of here.
Yeah, I want to just talk to my dad for a minute before we do go, though.
Hey, to each their own, man. That's to each their own. Now, if you excuse me, I've got a rather prudent date to wrangle up here, and she kind of walks off.
Okay. I'm going to say to Elise, wait here. I just want to talk to my father. Okay?
Alright, but don't be long.
I won't be. And I'm going to head over to my father.
And Cog goes with you.
Okay. Yeah. Dad?
Yes. Sorry we had to cancel the party so early, son. It's just...
it's okay.
Politics.
It's okay. I've already been questioned by the guards when this all happened, when I woke up. And Elise has already been questioned as well, right?
Oh, yes, of course. You two don't...
Is it okay if we head out? Okay.
Absolutely, you two don't have to stick around with that. In fact,
Now-
the less politics you have to put up with, the better, if you ask me.
Thanks, Dad. I do have one other question for you.
I'm all ears.
With me focusing more on my artificer skills, I want to create something else. But I need to ask if I can borrow some of the scrap metal from the foundry.
The scrap metal.
Yes.
And how much of the scrap metal will you need?
Enough to make me a decent suit of armor. Instead of the
guessing it's
leathers that I used to wear.
I'm guessing it's not just one suit of armor either.
Well, it's one for me, and I kind of turn and look over at Elise. I don't know if she's the type to wear armor. I'd have to check.
I'm sure you'll find out the hard way. He kind of elbows you and says, "Yes, of course. It's hardly any scrap metal. Can't see the problem. Swing by the factory tomorrow morning, and we'll get you set up."
Thank you very much, Dad.
Oh, there may be guards hawking around the place at the factory, but you don't pay them any mind. They're just a little bit paranoid about the whole kidnapping business.
Oh, I understand. I want to find Clayton as well.
Alright, well, you two head off then. Have a lovely night. I've got stacks of paperwork and political bullshit to put up with. Oh, man.
Thank you,
They
Dad.
always take the good ones. Oh, no problem, no problem. If you excuse me, I have a few people to talk to. And
Alright.
with that, you and Elise head off without causing a fuss as the airship lands, and plenty of all sorts of guards and members of House. I had their name written down. Sorry, give me one.
House Deneth?
Not House
Yeah.
Deneth, and plenty of House
Alright.
Civis members
House Orion?
are just basically House Civis
House
members.
Orion?
No, it's House Civis members. And basically, the House Civic members are devoted to journalism in the city and the processing of information, all gnome-based. And basically, there's hordes of them, like the paparazzi, surrounding the airship as you all come out, like holding out assorted floating quills and floating books, and just yelling out. It's like, "Oh, Mr. Cariff, do you have anything to add about the recent disappearance of Clayton Lawson, sir?" And she says to you as you're trying to leave with Elise,
No comment.
"Oh,
I just want to. I want to be able to be out of here with my new fiance.
What? That makes the crowd
then
even more
I will turn.
rambunctious.
I will turn and I will walk away without
And-
answering any other questions.
Yeah, and they try to go towards you, but a few of the guards are like, all right, back it up. You've had your fun. Get back to the airship. Go on, let's go." And you two are free to walk off. Meanwhile, newly landed from the sky, like an airdrop, we have Caleb the Barbarian, Marjani the Artificer, and a Emerald Dragonborn that may or may not have been screaming the entire flight down. And
I'm an artificer? I
no,
remember
Artificer. No, I said Emerald. Did I say Artificer?
No, you said
Yes,
Marjani the
I'm the
Artificer.
artificer.
Oh, sorry, Marjani the Cleric, and
Wow.
a Emerald Dragonborn who may or may not have been screaming the entire time. As you all flew down, Caleb, somehow you managed to keep a very unconscious Clayton Lawson over your shoulder. As you arrive just outside the Church of the Silver Flame, which of course leads to the secret entrance of the Dark Lanterns, it is pitch dark out, which thankfully meant that you didn't get noticed by any of the guards, despite one or two of you having a rocky flight down, since it's, the first time you've fallen miles out of the sky with a Featherfall spell. But nevertheless, you have landed safely and quietly.
Hey.
And as you all step into the church, it is still nicely lit thanks to several magical flames lighting up all of the torches, and still as quiet as ever. And you all remember that the entrance is on the north end of the chamber, right next to the statue to Boldry. What do you do?
North entrance, you said?
Yes, north over here.
Over there, okay. So,
Is there anything you guys would like to do before heading down to the Dark Lanterns?
well, there's nothing really for us to do unless anybody needs anything, so
Kenobi just kind of perks up and says, hold on, are we not going to discuss that we just fell 500 feet up in the air?
Yeah, that was fun.
That's what I thought.
I'm just gonna look at her and just gonna be like, well, we didn't die, so at least, that's the thing I'm focusing on right about now.
Yes, but how didn't we die? How didn't we die? Remembering that Clayton is still unconscious and holding, just limply fallen, placed between your shoulders.
She kind of just looks up and just be like, Baldry? I'm not exactly sure, but
yeah,
I guess we'll have to figure that out.
Not my Baldry.
Yeah.
So as you, Caleb, you're just walking, and Clayton on your back is just up and down, up and down. At one point, you nearly trip. He kind of like flails up and down and lands back on your body, still unconscious, of course.
Just careful, okay?
All right.
I want to wake him up.
Pull the lever.
Okay.
As you pulled the lever right next to the statue, as you were shown by Luxley Murdoch before. The entrance to the Dark Lanterns is open as it closes behind you as you all enter.
Before we enter, I'm guessing this guy is going to basically be the one guy, and I'm just gonna look at him and just raise my finger to his mouth, like, gonna walk over to him. It's just gonna be like, oh, we have some special cargo. Sorry. Right.
No worries.
Cargo who's not allowed to wake up at this point. So we need to be very quiet with this.
All right.
Got me?
He kind of looks over with raised eyebrows, putting his book and coffee down as he says, "Oh, wasn't expecting you back alive. So soon."
She's just gonna really cocky. She's just gonna look at him, just like, okay. I love your confidence in us. So great.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is Guy, yes?
Yes, this is our potential murderer.
Oh, you still seems to be breathing. Even more surprising. As he kind of pokes him with a stick a little bit.
I just kind of smack him on the head. He's like,
he just smacks the stick back into the ground. And he's like, oh, sorry, force of habit. I see something, I poke. You head downstairs. Director and bitch Cassandra. No, sorry. Director and Cassandra waiting for you downstairs.
Okay.
That sounds fine. Okay. More sneak.
Yes.
As you kind of quietly head down the stairs with a very unconscious Clayton, Mr. Lawson. And as you head down to the next floor, before you even enter, Marjani, with your passive perception, you hear, something's not right. This is taking too long. Give it time, Sandala. The party hasn't even come to a close yet. And yet there's more than enough time for them to get captured. If they were captured, we'd know by now. And with all due respect, Director, I still can't believe you'd be willing to send off brand new agents on such a risky job. And the agents will have to learn the hard way eventually, Zendala. Why not rip off the band-aid now? I fear at this rate they won't have a chance to learn at all. What do you do?
Basically, we're still on the stairs, right? They haven't noticed.
You've come down the stairs, and there's kind of like a grand set of doors leading into the cafeteria, so they haven't noticed you yet.
Okay. I'll look at my barbarian friend, and I will basically say, doesn't seem like they hold a lot of confidence in us. You ready to change them?
All right. You do the talking. I do the lifting.
I don't know. Seems like Cassandra has a lot of confidence in you, which is pretty surprising if you ask me. But
yeah, the other one, and that's what I'm always worried about. She seems very sure about us, but the others, very suspicious. I mean,
give it time. These things take time.
It took years for them to get used to me, and I can't necessarily say they've done a great job of that so far, but yeah, you can't be an agent if you can be trusted.
That is true. Well,
let's go in.
All right.
And Kenobi opens up the doors, and Zendala kind of says, Oh, you're back. Thank goodness. And they all kind of, everybody approaches you. And you notice two of the Warforged you saw at the training session, Miles, otherwise known as Miles and Davis, kind of waiting as well as the director wheelchairs her way over to you and gets a closer look. And he's like, back in one piece, I see. Very good.
Kind of slump Clayton over my shoulder to kind of like scruff him by the back of his neck, and he's like, he's still breathing as requested, and I kind of plop him in the seat so he's sitting like right there, just kind of like bloop.
Yeah, Clayton is tied up, correct?
Yes.
Yes, he is now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, by his hands and his feet, and he's kind of just like hog-tied basically.
The director wheels up, takes a closer look at him, and says, Miles, Davis?
Yes, ma'am?
Throw him in the holding cell for now. We'll deal with him in the morning.
Oh, right away. Oh, come on. Why do we always get the boring jobs? Well, that's because you're working for the wrong agency, pal.
Missed train already. And they both kind of drag Clayton across the floor and take him downstairs.
Rush you later.
I don't wish to be a bother, but I count 3 of you. It seems that 2 of our agents are missing. Oh, God, what do they do now? Now, I'm sure there's an explanation for this.
It's like, relax, okay? It seems like Marius has a bit of an edge when it comes to actually getting on the party. So he thought it would be a good idea to kind of just stay back for a while. No? Not to raise any suspicions because, his father is there, as you would know.
Of course.
Yes. So it seemed only right that we basically handle, a bit of the grunt work while he, covered for a bit.
And Elandra too?
Yeah, she played I'm guessing I would I know about the marriage?
No, none of you know about the marriage.
Actually, not about the marriage, but the fact that she was disguising as the female together.
Yes.
We wouldn't have heard anything. No,
Wait,
I'm metagaming.
I never heard anything about the marriage.
Wait, because the last game, the one that I was in, I don't think any of you figured out that it was Elandra at the time. I think I just put it out there that she was just like...
None of you guys
only except to Marius, which Marius revealed it to her.
Okay, so Marius is the only... So besides
you know what I mean?
Yeah, so besides me and Marius, I don't think anybody would know.
Yep.
Okay. I will look at them and basically be like, Elandra seems pretty okay.
Sorry, Alon, because that's the name she put into the database. My apologies. I got you mixed up, and it's like, I don't like them staying behind like this. It's quite alright, Zendal. I'm sure they'll be bursting for our door in any minute.
I'll look at them and basically be like, it's Alon, And if she probably has Marius with them, they'll probably get out. They're the smart ones here.
Well, I'll take your word for it. If you all don't mind, it's been a long day. I must return to my studies. And she takes a bow, kind of looks at you, Marjani, and smiles. And says, well done, by the way.
Can I look at her and basically be like, what studies are you referring to, by any chance? Or would you...
What studies?
Can I sorry. She's basically gonna look at you and just be like, can we talk by any chance? Privately?
Sure, of course. And she kind of takes you aside, and she says, what's on your mind?
I'll look at her and basically be like, you seem to have a better understanding of Baldry than most people. You seem to have some sort of connection.
You could say that, yes.
I'm just curious, how well are you versed in, the teachings of Baldry? Are you, is that like your primary goal, or?
Not so much my primary goal, but my whole life. Never knew a life without Baldry.
Oh, so you are also, taught about her.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm. Is that why you had... I'm blanking on the guy's name. Tiefling guy's name.
Oh, Luxley Murdoch.
All right, Luxley Murdoch. Is that why you got Murdoch to basically, recruit me?
Let's just say there may have been a bit of bias involved, but you've proven to be a powerful asset, so I'd say that bias was worthwhile.
Okay. Do you know any other stories? But when it comes to your studies, I'm not sure if you're willing to tell me this in private, but...
I'd be more than happy to share it to you in private.
Okay.
But perhaps in the morning.
Sure. And I look at her and I basically bow, just be like, hope that Baldur keeps you well.
I hope Baldur keeps you as well.
Okay. And I will basically.
And she heads off and returns. And Cassandra says, well, I suggest the three of you get a good night's rest before Landra and Marius returns. We'll debrief you in the morning. Now, no... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. I look at her, it's just gonna be like, you're not gonna try and flood us again, are you?
And they both laugh, and she says, no more supplies floodings, I assure you, but an agent must always be prepared. Of course.
That's not funny.
That activity is getting a little bit petty, I have to make it. Director, we've discussed this. We've done this for every single agent, yes, and it's getting a little old, but we can talk about this in private. You two better head off and get some rest. And they kind of head upstairs.
I'll look at the others and basically be like, okay. Oh, this was a long day. Do you guys want to get something to eat or something like that?
Did we eat anything at the party?
Yeah, I feel like we would have basically just been focusing on that.
Yeah, you've had things to drink at the party. You've had snacks every now and again, so you're pretty well fed. You wouldn't have to catch up on rations.
No.
I think the best idea is to just like take a shower and basically head in bed. And as she says this, she's gonna be like, I should probably take the first watch. I should probably take the first bath, because she just kind of looks at Caleb and she's gonna be like, yeah, no, that
Fair
water's
enough.
gonna, yeah, that water's gonna be.
Let me guess, he's a hair clogger.
Yeah.
I've met plenty of those in my time. And as that happens, Marius, you walk in with hand in hand with Alondra, who
actually,
now has...
Hold up.
Sorry, go on.
I don't think I would be going straight back, because one, we just left with the suspicion of House Deneth. So I would not want to lead them right back to the hideout.
Alright, ignore that. Yeah.
What I would probably do is I would talk to Alandra and see whether she was okay spending the evening at my friend's house, the girl that I know, like what she suggested. And then in the morning, I'll go to the factory, like planned, to start working on my armor. If she can, keep an eye out that she's not being followed, and work her way over to let everybody know that we're okay. And then come back and meet up with me at the factory. That would be our best bet to keep our cover going.
So, I'm sorry, how would we be keeping track of the agency?
I'm going to go about my normal day like I would normally do, working at the factory, getting the scrap metal to craft my armor. You make certain you're not being followed. Work your way back while I'm at work. Work your way back. Check in for us both. Keep them updated to what we are doing. And then I need you to come back and meet me at the factory for the end of day.
So wait, you're just gonna have me go back to the agency all by myself?
Yeah, I mean...
Yes.
I don't want to... Yeah, sorry.
Because it would make the most sense. I'm very high profile right now because I was there at the kidnapping.
Yeah. Just...
I don't want to be followed back to the hideout.
Director's not gonna like this, but no, you're right. You're right. We gotta avoid the suspicion.
I figure the director would like it a lot better than me leading House Deneth back to the hideout.
I've never been very good at reading leadership. All right, let's do it.
All right.
All right.
So we'll go to my friends. I'll knock on the door.
So by your friend, you mean Nash, right?
Yes.
She had to stay behind to get questioned by the guards, so she does not. You do not hear an answer.
Okay. I'll wait for her then.
All right. Wait for her a while, and you wait hours. And I mean hours. The moonlight passes over you. Kind of the nighttime dirty crowd kind of passes for you all. In fact,
I'm going to check my pockets and make certain that I didn't steal anything on my way out.
make me wisdom saving throw.
I mean, if you did steal something, then I'm pretty sure from that party it's going to be something really valuable.
Thankfully, you managed to keep your cool so much that you tempt yourself not to fall into the temptation of stealing. In fact, you wait around at nighttime in the middle city for so long that we're going to roll the encounter dice.
Ooh.
Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. 64.
Okay. This might take a bit for me to set up.
Ooh.
Those three again?
No. I meant to change that. My bad. Hey,
I was just about to say.
You don't see that yet?
Like, they're really persistent.
No, you don't see them
We've
yet.
been surrounded.
However, they may or may not show up later. Who knows?
I'm going to take this off. Give me a second.
And I'm assuming she lives somewhere that's pretty well populated if she's a member of House Canaan.
Yes, but it is also pretty late at this point. Like, we're talking about midnight hour. Most people have already either head to bed or just kind of drunk.
She already basically gave me permission to stay there, right?
She
Yes.
did.
So before this encounter would always happen, because it's going to take a little while, I will, like, after about 30 minutes and she hasn't shown up, I will use my lockpicks.
All right.
And get inside.
Okay. Well, 30 minutes is still a decent amount of time, so I will re-roll the encounter dice.
Okay.
See what happens. 50 or above. Below 50 is good. Above 50, not so lucky.
Okay. Ooh.
How did you get exactly
How
the
did
same?
I get the exact same number twice? What are the odds of that? So as you begin lockpicking in,
I got a total of a 28 for my lockpicking.
All right. You kind of begin lockpicking way in, and as you do, Elantra just kind of looks to her side and says, darling, we've got company.
I turn and I look.
And you see a bunch of hooded men approaching, 3 of which human, one of them is a tiefling, just kind of walking through the grimy streets, and they're 2 of them are very clearly hammered, a couple of them seem to be a little bit more stable, some of them are just kind of tossing and turning all over the place, kind of falling amongst themselves, and they kind of look ahead, and one of them says, "Aye, lads, bless my stars, if that isn't the Marge DeCaniff." I think it's Marius DeCaniff. So shut up! Nobody asked you. Well, looks like he's got himself a date too, and a tin can.
This one is not a tin can. This one is a Warforged body.
Blah 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 fucking blah. All right, fuck off. And you too, Marge. Marius, or whatever the fuck your name is. You pissed off a lot of people back in your day. A lot of people asked for your jobs, but no, you said no. You just had to be rightful cunts to turn your nose into the other direction. Well, I think his pop is more so the problem here. Well, someone's gotta pay for it. Who's it gonna be? And he kind of takes out a dagger and starts playing around with it. And the others are like, yeah! And this one's like, oh, come on, don't make a scene again.
Marius is going to sigh and go, if that's what you really want, he's going to draw out his rapier and he's going to cast, very obviously to them, magic weapon on the rapier while looking him right in the eye.
All right, give me an intimidation check with advantage.
15.
15.
Yeah, that's... Oh, look at that! He's got himself a little bit... Oh, hey, wait a minute! Where are you going? No, wait for me! Fuck! And he kind of topples over and picks himself back up again. Oh, wait, come on! Don't leave me behind! Why you have to be such a stupid git sometimes? Well, Marge is a prick. Marius! Oh, whatever the fuck. Lance
But I'll swing the door open.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, I'll swing the door open, look to Alondra, and be like, ladies first.
You're too kind. And you step into the household, and it's kind of one of those, you'd notice, it's not exactly a condo, but they're like townhouses that are right next to each other. It's like one large building, and you all kind of have to share it. It's kind of something like that. You don't notice the other neighbors because it's pretty late at this point, despite... let's roll a perception check, given the commotion that was going on.
You want me to roll perception?
No. The neighbors will roll perception.
Oh, okay.
Who the neighbors are? Well, that's I'm gonna have to roll with. As you kind of step inside, you notice a very chubby dwarf with kind of holding a baby in his hands kind of walks out and is like, Oi! Who are you? What the fuck are you doing here? I don't recognize you. Wake up,
my name is
kid.
Marius de Cannith, and this is my friend's house.
Oh, if you're Marius de Cannith, then I'm the queen of the fucking High Council.
I tap my symbol on my cheek. Who else would have this?
He kind of leans in, squints his eyes, throws on some reading glasses, takes a closer look as this baby kind of starts screaming. He's like, oh, jeez, sorry, mate, but Ash wasn't expecting any company, and being
It's
a
okay.
single father and all, down the streets, and I was about ready to kick those bugs' asses. It's not the first time they've come through these parts asking for trouble.
I understand. I'm gonna just kind of try and comfort the baby a little bit.
Make me... I was gonna say animal handling, but that would be inappropriate. Make me a
Charisma.
persuasion check. Persuasion.
Okay, persuasion.
13.
You don't
no,
have advantage.
9. Sorry, I don't have
That's
advantage.
alright.
You're right. 9.
So you try to calm the baby down. You kind of grab it, but you almost grab it a little too tightly and swing it around a little too fast.
Oh my
The
god.
baby doesn't
No, I
cry.
was just going like coochie coochie coo.
Yeah, baby just kind of bites your finger a
Ow!
little bit. It's like, oh yeah, sorry. Once a little bastard, always a little bastard. So, was Ash expecting you by any chance? And
Yes, we were both at the airship party. She's still stuck in questioning.
Oh.
She told me that my friend and I could share a room tonight. Just so that we don't have to worry about my father.
he kind of mouth agape, just looks at you, looks at her.
No, not that way. Oh my gosh, no. Not that way.
Ash has been
Just a
some
place to sleep.
pretty kinky shit lately, and he just starts marching up the stairs, and leaving you alone in the kitchen as Lantra's just laughing her ass off. And it's a
Alright.
very nice home. You both have to share the same kitchen, but there's also like a living quarters with a couple of love seats and a fireplace. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs, one presumably a guest bedroom and one master bedroom that's clearly for Ash. It has like all sorts of blueprints strung out across the wall for all of her different designs, and scrap metal just all over the place. You can tell she really hasn't had much of a chance to clean herself up lately. In fact, most of the rooms on her side of the chamber are in pretty messy condition, but you know that Ash is, while very smart and very capable worker, doesn't always know how to stay organized.
Alright. I'm going to kind of peek through her kitchen and see whether she's got any wine.
Make me an investigation check with advantage because Elantra's helping you search. He's like, yep, mine's a great idea right now.
22.
How come the dwarf didn't notice this one?
Oh, I'm sure he did, dear. 22. Yep, almost immediately you look into one of the cabinets and it's like this rack full of assorted liquors, and right in the middle of the rack you see this prominent, lovely bottle of red wine. You take it. There's a cork right next to the wine rack as well. Take a cork.
Oi, keep it down up there!
It's alright. And the cap just pops right off and lands on top of Cog's head as he just grabs it and crushes it. And Landra finds a couple of glasses and starts pouring. And he's like, to a job well done.
To a job well done.
Clink. Clink glasses, and she just chugs hers in one single go. And just poof! Ugh.
I'll top her glass back up for her.
Ah, thanks.
So
yeah.
let's go upstairs and chat a little bit.
Wait. Sorry.
Cog. Yeah?
Yes?
Do you want to wait here just to let my friend know when she gets home that we're upstairs?
This one will do so. This one feels uncomfortable. But this one will do so, nonetheless.
And he stands firm and does the 360 degree head turn once again.
Okay.
We need a name for that, like scanning mode or recon mode.
He enters
something.
recon mode. He entered Hunter's Vision from Halo 4, was it? Yeah.
Or
where
something.
you see through walls.
Mike, he's your Warforged. You got to think of something for this, man. I mean, I'm good at coming up with names, but you got to think of something. It's got to mean something to you.
All right, so you head upstairs to one of the bedrooms with Elantra, and she says, I am sorry, by the way, about what happened. It's got to be tough to sum up your own workers to the wolves.
Mm-hmm. It's more the fact that he was a friend.
I know.
A really close friend, and I still can't believe whether it's true or not. But I'm sure they're gonna find out.
You're gonna find that, honey. You're gonna find that some of the biggest enemies out there are your closest friends.
I know what you mean.
Some worse than others. You know, my father always said, killers don't come with a grimace, they come with a smile. When you least expect it.
Yeah.
But who knows what my father knows, eh? Barely know
That's
the guy,
true.
and she chugs the rest of her wine.
So once they get upstairs and everything else, he just kind of sits on the bed. He's like, so let's get to know each other better. Especially if you're to be my fiance.
Marius?
Every
No,
time
your
you say
friend's
that,
house.
Not that way. Tell me about yourself
You
more,
were
and I
too
will tell you about
innocent and
mine.
pure. She's like,
yes.
oh, you're way too innocent, kiddo. And she takes a seat.
So I ask her questions about where she lived, what she used to do, different things like that. I tell her about myself, how I've never really sat in good with my father because I have a bad habit of stealing things.
Well,
It doesn't look very good for a head of a household to have a son that does that.
yeah, that's true, but family's family. It's more than what I've got right now. You don't realize how much you miss until it's gone.
Well, maybe that'll change. And he just has like
I
a
hope so.
kind of a blushing smile at that point.
You hear a door open downstairs, and he's like, God! Jesus Christ, what the hell are you doing here?
This one is here! This one has arrived! Oh, I told you to shut up! It's alright, Bosley. Neighbors are piped down. Oh, God, I'm so... Oh, great, you won't get the fucking baby again! Oh, great, that's just great. Every night, you can't have one night of peaceful fucking rest. Oh, come on, don't don't be like that. You knew I was gonna be out late tonight. Not with a noisy fucking machine! Why is there a machine in here right now?
I don't think I'm gonna be getting much sleep tonight.
Does Cog deliver the message that we're upstairs?
Cog has. He has yelled out the message upstairs, and you have both definitely heard that, along with the other arguments going on.
Well, we better pour a third glass. I'm sure she'll want one.
Alright, so you head downstairs and pour a third glass as everything's calmed down. And Ash is like, you know, could have just asked for a key, Marius. God, what accent am I doing? Fuck me. Sorry, go on.
We didn't quite get a chance to, with everything going on at the airship. Luckily, I'm able to get into doors.
Yeah, I noticed. Remind me not to piss you off. And she takes a sip. As Elantra just chugs hers, is like, huh, my, you're thirsty. Whew. I have to admit, it is a little bit awkward bringing your fiance over here. Oh, it's no bother at all. We won't even cause much of a ruckus. Yeah, I hope so.
No, we're not planning that. We're just trying to get to know each other better. It's kind of a whirlwind romance, I guess you could say.
That doesn't make things any easier, kiddo. But
okay.
I kid, of course. Like, you two are welcome to stay as long as you want before things blow over, as your pa would say.
Well, tomorrow I have to head to the factory. I'm going to make myself a suit of armor, and my father said I can use some of the scrap metal. Elandria? Or sorry, Elise, do you wear armor as well?
I prefer to go on, but I prefer to live without it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hardly any scrap metal at all. I don't even know why you need to ask him. Probably could have just taken it and he won't even notice.
You know my reputation. I'd rather ask.
Yeah. Well, I feel like your father's gonna be an asshole for a while, kiddo. Benefits of being an uptight asshole boss. No matter what you do. Maybe nice to you now, but just wait till the wedding starts. That's when all the drama will begin. That's very comforting, thank you. My pleasure, she says very sarcastically.
All right. Thank you, though, for letting us stay here. And he's going to continue quietly talking with Elandra throughout the evening before they go to bed. And he'll offer to sleep on the floor.
Elandra's like, you're too kind. I just hope that kindness doesn't get us hurt. And she immediately passes out into bed, having drunk a little too much. And Cog stays downstairs, as you all, the three of you, head off to sleep. As for the rest of the party, I would like to know, since Marius and Elandra aren't here, is there anything the three of you, Marjani, Caleb, sorry, just Marjani and Caleb, is there anything you guys would like to do before you head off to sleep, besides your getting bathed? And Marjani, you head into the bath, thankfully without piles of hair clogging up the sink the hole this time, phrasing. Take a lovely, very comforting bath as your muscles are all soothed in the lovely bath water without a fear in the world, as Caleb just rushes over after about half an hour and says, "My turn." And basically, he doesn't even fill up the water. You just step out, Marjani, and he just hops right in, splashing half the water all over the place, but nevertheless very comfortable as he strokes out his beard once again, leaving an ungodly amount of hair to be clogged up in the hole. Is there anything else you guys would like to do after your lovely baths, as you notice Kenobi has already fallen asleep?
Okay, so I'm just gonna Marjani basically is used to basically taking care of others. She will kind of clean up a bit, and kind of seeing that her friends are not back yet, she would kind of just make their bed a bit. She's kind of worried that they're not back. She trusts them, but she's kind of worried. So she's just gonna prepare their beds, just in case, as try to convince herself that they're gonna get back. I didn't do this the last time. We created a campfire the last time. Could I basically say that I'm going to because I was planning on doing it.
I think Alon made the
bonfire. She made the bonfire, but I was thinking about making what is essentially like a little forge, basically where she made that bonfire.
A little forge?
Remember a hearth. Sorry.
Hearth.
Forge.
Sorry.
A hearth.
Of course. Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Cool.
As Caleb, you kind of notice Marjani heading off to the south end of the chamber, gathering some very basic supplies out of her bag and a few sticks laying around the chamber, and attempts to basically build herself a little bed, a nice little tent with laying out a bedroll underneath, with a couple of warm torches laying by her side. And she does a fairly respectable job. It's nothing fancy, but it still looks great. It's basically like a basic camp tent, like camp setup with the tent and a couple of torches right outside to light up the space, and a bedroll just laid out perfectly across the stone cold floor.
As she basically does that, she is. Can I retcon it and say that I've kept like little pockets of like food in like my pockets or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
you have rations, so
yeah,
that's fair.
I'm gonna basically scrape off a piece of that, and I'm gonna send it inside the fire. And as I'm doing that, I'm just gonna kneel on the ground and just kind of pray for my friend's return. Does it come back?
Like roasting marshmallows in a camp night, you kind of attach some of the food to a stick, hold it over one of the lit torches, and cook yourself some nice, freshly cooked rations.
It's not exactly cooking. It's more like an offering, in a sense.
You're tossing it into the fire.
Tossing it, yeah.
My apologies. So you kind of take a bit of food, you toss it into the torch, just kind of... Caleb, it smells pretty delicious. As you smell the waft of assorted meats from a ration as is suddenly tossed into a fire as smoke kind of fills up the chamber. As Marjani, you close your eyes, hold your hands together, and start making a prayer for your friends to return home in one piece.
Please.
Your new friends.
Yeah. Baldry. My new friends. They are very smart, but just deliver them safely for us. Thank you. And that's basically it.
And Caleb, you noticed this as well.
Seeing as this is not really his place, Caleb kind of just takes... No, I do not sneak in and eat all the rations. No, that's just me.
I mean...
That is kind of my character, but I know this is kind of not my place, and I don't want to eat offerings to the gods and be punished myself. So I kind of take a step back and just it's a waste of good food.
Your stomach grumbles, but you fight the urge. He goes back to his
bed, and he's like, yeah.
With a grumbly tummy, you kind of pass out onto the bed, nearly crushing it with your weight once again. I'm sure Cassandra will love cleaning that up, but you pass off. And you all pass off into the night. And at this point, I would like to give you the after mission report. And I'm going to tell you how that works.
Okay.
So, how this works is you all get a after mission report, and you're going to fill out basically information. I'll post this into the chat. There are a few things they're asking for. What was the result of the mission? How did you achieve the mission? And were there any problems on the way to completing your mission?
I'm guessing...
Now, the catch here is that you can answer the questions as truthfully as you want. You can leave out certain details, you can lie about certain information. That's entirely up to you. I recommend that you fill out the information just like your characters would. Try to keep it an RP. Try to think like your characters would think. You don't have to fill this out right now. You can fill it out on your own time. However, I will ask that you have the after mission report filled out by next week.
Now, for me, it would be when I actually return that I'd have to fill that out, right?
Yes, technically that's
Okay.
true. So you can
Alright.
wait a bit on that. And you're all level 4. You've reached a milestone of completing your first mission, mostly without a hitch. So you have all leveled up to level 4 as your bond with the agency grows. And I also will list major choices that may or may not affect the campaign in the future. Basically, like any Telltale game where it's like, this amount of players
will
chose
remember
this
that.
amount...
Yes.
Basically. So firstly, the party refused to give away the location of Egol to the group of halflings. It even managed to scare them away with a "this isn't over" threat before running off. So not only did you manage to keep Egol's location a secret, you also may have made the halflings a little more scared of your group. Secondly, because Caleb, Kenopi, and Marjani did fumble up on convincing the front gate members to get into the party, their added suspicion and sudden disappearance did lead them to becoming lead suspects in Clayton's disappearance. And Kenopi isn't here, but I'm going to mention that Kenopi, since they left their unseen servant behind the chef's quarters for quite some time, caused a display of invisible cooking that may or may not have traumatized the chef in the process. Number 4. While you weren't spotted by Preston Marsley at the party, Caleb, he was still left at the party. And not only does he know your face...
Who's that?
That's the
That's the
guy.
half-lane guy that
Yeah.
you did the mission for at the start of the campaign. That you were trying to avoid. He also
Wait, I rolled a stealth. He didn't see
Oh
me.
yeah, he didn't see you, but as soon as they mention... Well, here's the thing. The guards are questioning everybody at the party, and the front people know your face, and if they know your face, and tell Preston Marsley about that, he not only knows your face, he knows your name too. You promised
shit.
the House Denif agent that you'd consider her offer to take Clayton into her own custody. Not only did you take away Clayton behind her back, but Lantra tried to frame her for a crime she didn't commit.
I never promised anything like that.
Oh, you didn't, but Lantra did. My apologies.
That was all on her.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true. You brought Clayton back to the Dark Lanterns against his will, but also in one
Alive.
piece. Bringing Clayton to the Dark Lantern authorities and getting access to his teleportation glove in the process. And last but not least, Marius' father now believes that Elantra and Marius are to be wed. And the father now knows more about Elantra's shady past, even if it's just bits and pieces. Reputation. So here's how this is going to work. Just assume that your reputation with all houses are at 50, which is like neutral. And anything I say or do will subtract the reputation you have with the different houses. So, with House Denif, you all lose 10 reputation for promising to give her Clayton Lawson, only to take him into custody for your own group. Elantra loses an additional 10 reputation for trying to frame House Denif for agent for a crime she technically did not commit. As for House Caniff, Caleb, Kenopi, and Marjani, you all lose 20 reputation for being the most suspicious suspects in the investigation in Clayton's disappearance. On the other hand, Elantra gets 10 reputation for getting on Marius' dad's good side, and Marius, you gain an additional 5 reputation for your recent engagement. And you get a plus 10 Marius for being a house member as well. I'll post this all in the Roll20 chat.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Mr. Mike, remember the topic we were talking about, that Thorn Whip magic spell
Yes.
attack?
Mhm.
Doings is saying it's a magic initiate. Which spell class do I use?
Well, what's your
Druid.
highest? Wisdom? Well, there's Druid or Artificer, actually.
Yeah.
So is Wisdom or Intelligence higher for your character?
They're both at the same level.
Okay, so then you could either go Artificer, or you could go Druid.
I think Druid would be better considering my character type. I can basically tie it to like my time on the road, and my character, I'll admit, is like Caleb after surviving the massive fall with the feather fall, is slowly starting to overcome his fear / distrust of magic, and is learning more with druidic powers and stuff.
Here's the
So-
thing, Caleb. It says your wisdom is at 9 and your intelligence is at 13 on your character sheet.
Oh, I forgot to add that. The character sheet that I'm thing here that I haven't updated because I'm leveling up right now as we speak is
Fair
at
enough.
11:11. So
I see. No worries. No worries.
In terms of feats, are we allowed to take feats? Or
Yes, you are. Just remember that it's either a feat or an ability score improvement. You take
Okay.
one or the other at level 4.
ooh,
And
I
one
can
last
have
thing,
another spell.
House Orion. And
Well, that's a
Caleb,
cantrip.
Kanopi, and Marshani lose 10 reputation from House Orion for being the most suspicious suspects and taking the invention away from the party.
But they wouldn't. Okay, I'm guessing. Yeah, after like questions and stuff like that, they would definitely know. Which sucks because I wanted more. But yeah, that sounds fair.
All right, so that's it for the after mission reports, and we will continue.
Are we gonna take a break or are we gonna keep on?
Actually, let's take a 20-minute break. We'll
'Cause
be
we
back.
did
That way
level
we
up.
can
We
level
would
up
get-
our characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it's a
ready.
good time. So I will be right back after 20 minutes.
All right.
Awesome.
So, in both out of character, I'm going to say that maybe Caleb asked Marjani to say, "Oh, this magic isn't so bad. I want to learn a little bit more, and I want to know more of these druid men I saw in my time on the road." And I guess we
Marshani.
can kind of work that into this story.
Yeah, Marshani. Technically, the way I always think about clerics is that it's less of the arcane magic of what she would see like wizards would use. But she and druids basically get their magic from nature. And since she's a hermit, she would have met certain druids at certain points. Basically, look at you and basically said, I don't know much in terms of druid magic, but I've basically been around to basically know how they basically do their stuff. There's certain things that they would basically keep from other people, but I've helped enough. I've basically been around a couple of them to know what's going on. Are you trying to multi-class into druid, or you just want to learn some spells from them?
Just a couple spells. Really, what I want is some versatility.
Mm-hmm.
I basically want to attach somebody with Thorn Whip, pull them close to getting close.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things. I have another cantrip that I can get, and for the spell, I instantly saw Earth Tremor. I'm thinking that sounds cool.
Yeah, then that would.
Earth Tremor's cool. The other one as well. That's a good one for you.
I'm trying to think of another one, and it's like
if you're
thinking-
ever unarmed, Primal Savagery is a good one too.
Yeah, especially since he's like
Primal
really,
Savagery.
Yeah.
You channel primal manic to cause your teeth and fingernails to sharpen, ready to
Mhm.
deliver a corrosive attack.
And that's a cantrip, so you could use this as much as possible.
What? Okay.
So if you're
okay,
ever without
I like
your
that's
axe,
cool.
Yeah.
And then you'd also have a first level druid spell with that as well.
Yeah.
And is Cure Wounds considered a druid spell? I forget now.
Let me check.
I think Healing Word is.
Yes,
but
it
I'm not
is.
Healing
yes,
Word
it is.
is,
But
yes.
I really want Earth Tremor. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I feel like
I want
and
a Hulk smash.
Yeah,
I
that
want
is
to
true.
Hulk smash.
plus I've
Works.
basically set up my character as kind of the like support. So Cure Wounds, Healing Word, I would basically
Okay,
take
I'll go
on
with
those.
Primal Savagery, Thorn Whip, and Earth Tremor.
Okay, that's great.
Choice.
All right.
Update the
See,
existing character.
If you were to have asked Marius about it, he could have taught you the Arcane
Marius isn't
Initiate.
here.
I know, but he could have taught you the Arcane Initiate for Artificer,
Yeah.
which means you could have gotten Thorn Whip that way too.
That's okay. Doesn't fully trust magic. Starting
So I'm
To
I'm
trust
basically going to
magic.
basically take out like my notes that I've basically had from like my experiences with the outside, and I'm gonna
Yep.
show Caleb a bunch of them, and she's basically gonna say, okay, so here's a bit of what I know, and she's basically gonna give you like a rundown of like little, like I said, she doesn't know, but she would have seen like how they basically hand signals, runes and stuff like that. Basic stuff that you would basically need to like know about how to like cast these spells. And she's not good at it. She doesn't use them, but at least she has like a bunch of them written down. She's still trying to figure them out, but I'm guessing the way I would phrase it is that while she might have trouble, figuring it out, you are an outlander, correct?
Yes.
Right. Since you are kind of more involved with like nature and stuff like that, I would basically think that, you would kind of be around that kind of nature stuff and you would kind of catch on it a bit more. So, you could basically say that as well.
Totally.
Awesome. All right. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Now I just need to get I need to put in spells and do this thing. So cantrips I can use without preparation. Is there a limit to them I can use, or is it just like I can keep using them? The
cantrips, you could use them as much as you want. So you could so that's why Primal Savagery would basically be really cool, because you could basically just, use it as much time as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Okay. Make a melee. Yes. So yeah, once it's a melee attack, then it should be all right. So the target takes an extra 1d10 acid damage after you made a tap, fingernails. So it's not for like permanent. Once you take one action with it, then
it's just a little bit of damage, right?
Yeah, 1d10, which is still pretty significant damage, because
that's a lot of damage.
And at higher level, when you reach level 5, it goes up to 2d10. When you reach level 11, it goes up to 3d10, and so on and so forth. So when you level up one more time, it will actually change to a 2d10.
Cool.
Awesome. Trying to take a feat. Oh, right. Well, that depends on if we do like short rest stuff. I'm planning on taking the chef feat, which would both increase my wisdom score, and it gives me the ability when we take a short rest to give extra.
My bad.
Healing to
Ignore
hit
that.
die. That's no problem. I feel like okay. If you move, that's charger. Let's see, chef. And I've always wanted to take this.
So there's chef and there's gourmand, which is similar, but I'm not sure if that one's actually in the books anymore.
I don't remember. I don't think gourmand is in the books, but I definitely know chef came out with Tasha's. So I'll check. Let me check. Okay, for chef, time spent mastering culinary arts is paid off. Increase wisdom. You gain proficiency in cooking utensils. So basically, the way I always think of it is that if we're low on rations and we find like extra meat, we could basically, spice that up to make like extra rations for us. As part of a short rest, you can cook a special food provided that you have ingredients. You can prepare enough food for a number of creatures equal to 4 + 0, blah, blah, blah. At the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit die to regain hit points regains an extra 1d8 hit points.
So gourmand is Unearthed Arcana. I'm not sure if Ian's okay with that or not.
Yeah, yes, that would be up to him. Let me check. What does gourmand say?
Because one of the nice things about gourmand is, as an action, you can inspect a plate of food or drink within 5 feet to determine whether it's poison, provided you can see and smell it.
Okay.
And its thing is a long rest effect.
Yeah.
But
okay.
It does give you advantage on con saving throws versus disease for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, that is true. I might have to ask him about that.
Yeah, it works. Okay, so it says make a melee spell attack against the target.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So a melee spell attack for you would use your wisdom modifier. Plus your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, because druid spells
and
do count as wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So to do your Thorn Whip, you would do a wisdom plus proficiency, roll d20.
Mm-hmm.
If you succeed in hitting, you deal the damage, plus you pull them closer. And because it's through the Arcane Initiate, it'll only ever do the d6 piercing damage. It'll never increase in damage unless you take a spellcasting class and then.
So again, what
Use a
do I
spell slot.
roll? You said a D20, correct?
Yeah, a D20
Mhm.
plus
D20.
Wisdom modifier
Which
Yeah.
is 0.
plus your
Yeah,
proficiency bonus, which is 2.
So a
Mhm.
D20 plus 2.
basically, yeah.
Okay.
If your Wisdom ever increases, it'll increase the amount that it hits with.
Okay.
Why did you roll 2d20?
That's because I hit the wrong button and I'm looking at the wrong keys.
That's fine.
Although, if you can put Thorn Whip into your spells, you should be able to cast it right from there, and you can select on your spell sheet. How would you say it? You can select on your spell sheet how much of each it does. Like you go to spells.
Okay, so if I do Thorn Whip
Okay, there's also
here
the
in my
healer spell.
my attack.
Under
It's-
cantrips.
Or 1d6 plus 4 hit die. To it plus additional hit points equal to the creatures.
So should it be
Maximum.
if I'm putting it here in Roll20, would it be 1d20 plus Wisdom?
Hold on.
1d20.
Hold on.
Go to your spells page. Okay.
My hit.
Spells page. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spells page. Here we
Now,
go.
under spellcasting ability, click in the drop down and select Wisdom.
Spellcasting ability, Wisdom. Okay. It says spell save DC 10, spell attack bonus 2.
Right. So now, in the I section, there's the chat box, the newspaper, and then the I in black.
Yep.
Scroll down to spells.
Yep.
Find Thorn Whip.
Okay.
Once you found Thorn Whip, you should be able. Oh, is it not there? I don't see it there in the list.
No results found. That's odd.
Because it should be in that list.
Yeah.
So you
You're
might-
looking in the compendium.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're in the compendium.
I think it depends on. I'm not sure, but I think it depends on how many books the compendium has. If
Yeah.
anything, you could just put it. Let me see, because you could just put it in. That's supposed to be it.
Yeah, you can create a spell under the information
Yeah.
and then
So-
start filling in all the info for it.
I've never been good with spells and stuff, so I'm trying to start now. So
Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out. I need feet, a good feet. Right now I'm just going with either gourmand, chef, or healer, one of the three.
All
Or
three are
lucky.
good choices.
Yeah, or lucky. That would actually be really cool too.
Lucky is a nice thing to have for that
Yeah.
last ditch effort. It would have really changed a lot of things in our game if I had lucky, like
Yeah.
the natural one roll for picking the lock in our one test.
Was this 3 times? So, but I think it's unlimited to me. I'm not sure if I could. I don't think I can. Okay, let me see. If one is spell, influence, cancel. Okay, it can regain after 1. All right. Kind of not been lucky with certain things, but let me see.
I honestly think healer would probably be the best bet.
Yeah, healer or
But-
chef, one of
yeah.
the two.
Chef is nice because of the temporary hit points
Mhm.
and the extra healing on short rests.
Yeah. It depends. I want to be more versatile because let me see. So let me see. Time spent mastery has paid off. I think. Okay. Proficiency
So-
with that.
The big difference would be this. Healer, if you have a healer's kit,
Mm-hmm.
you can use that during combat to heal people once between the
Okay.
short rests, I believe it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cook, you can't heal them with that ability until after you're done a short rest.
Okay.
So there's where the big difference is. Is it going to be better to have something that you can do during combat if necessary? or wait until after combat and then patch everybody up with the cook?
Looking at it. I'm guessing at level 8, I could take an extra one. Let me see. But at the moment, and most of the times, all this stuff that we've been doing is kind of centered on the city. If it was like somewhere like in the wilderness, it would have been, Chef would have actually been a bit more, viable. So I think I'll take healer for now. If we go on like extra missions where we kind of go outside or somewhere, somewhere where there's not a lot of like buildings or people that we know, I think, Chef would be good later
Beneficial.
on.
Yeah. We also have someone though that's an outlander, right?
Yeah. Oh, and the thing about healer is that with Chef you at least get an extra 1 for either Constitution or Wisdom, but the thing with healer is that it doesn't give you that, which...
Okay. What's your con at right now?
My con, where is it? Is at 14.
So if you get 1 more to it, it's not going to do anything yet. But if your next feat also gives you 1 to con, that'll put you to a 16.
Yeah, so 15 is Wisdom. That's a main spellcasting modifier, which is what I was looking for. Let me see. When you get 16, that's a +3, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So if that's the case, if you're looking for one that's specific to having a Wisdom mod, let me see here. Ability. Skulker, Ritual Caster. That's not what I'm wanting. I don't want a prerequisite, I want a benefit.
There's a Prodigy. What's Prodigy?
Ability bonus, there we go. Wisdom. So
Ability bonus?
Here. The ones that give wisdom bonuses is Chef, Elven Accuracy, Fey Touched, Observant. Observant is a handy one. Resilient, Shadow Touched, Skill Expert, Telekinetic, or Telepathic.
Oh, Skill Expert? Okay, let me try that. And another skill would be good.
Now, one that is very handy for you would be Observant, because you have the biggest range of dark vision, right? 300 foot.
Yeah.
You have a Wisdom as your primary stat, which Perception is based off of Wisdom. Are you trained in Perception?
Yes.
So that means that your passive Perception right now, if you were to take Observant, would be 10 plus 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You'd have a passive Perception of 20.
Okay.
If you were to take Observant.
All right.
Because you could bump your Wisdom up by 1 to that, putting it at 16.
Okay. All right. You know what? Yeah, this would. Okay, so you have a plus. Okay, so increase blah blah blah, and it also gives me a passive perception on investigation. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be good. I think that would be great. So I'll take Observant. Thank you.
No problem. It's also a really good one because anything
and I get some extra spells, which okay, let's see. What did I want again?
Anything that speaks a language you understand, you can actually read their lips as well.
Not loading because okay, it's coming back up now.
Out of the rogue right now, which means Dex and Intelligence. Usually con and Intelligence.
There we go. So back to Marjani. Now some extra spells. Spells. I don't think I took Cure Wounds the last time. I took Healing Word. There we go. Alright, so Observance, Wisdom. Okay, next one. Come on. There we go. So I got
I've returned!
You have
Welcome
returned. Yay.
How'd leveling up go for you guys?
Pretty good.
Trying to
Pretty good
work
so
it
far.
out. Never done spells before, so.
Yeah, no worries. Just keep in mind, on 11, you won't get a huge bonus to foreign weapon spellcasting abilities. Just.
I was explaining that to him.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. Magic is kind of hard to get used to.
What was
Magic
the
is
one
hard.
thing? There's something that could increase the range of your.
Spell
It can
sniper,
increase-
right?
Well, there's spell sniper, no, but there's one that actually increases touch spells to a range spell of 30 feet. And I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. Is that a meta magic thing? I think it.
It might be meta magic,
Okay.
Yeah, only sorcerers can do it for meta magic, by the looks of it.
unless you take
Yeah.
meta magic adept.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
There you go. That's an option.
Is it meta magic? Let's see here. Distance.
I wonder if I did this right.
Yes, that's exactly it. The distance spell from the meta magic. Use 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell that has a range of touch, you can spend 1 sorcery point to make the range 30 feet. If it has a spell range of 5 feet or greater, you can double the range with 1 spell point or 1 sorcery point.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're talking about different spell outside of Thornwhip. Because Thornwhip has range.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was me talking with Marjani about Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a handy thing to be able to do that massive healing as opposed
Yeah.
to just a D4
That is
at
pretty
range.
nice. Didn't even think about that.
Mhm.
Oh, when you guys are all set.
I have one more question. You say that if I took up Observant, my passive perception would change to how much?
20.
An additional 5. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Because if you take Observant, you get a +1 to your Wisdom, bringing you up to a 16. So your Wisdom
Mhm.
modifier would be +3.
Mhm.
Passive Perception is 10 +3 +2 from your proficiency bonus, plus the 5 from Observant would give you a total of 20.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah, no, just the passive perception, though.
Yes,
Yeah, just making sure.
but that's pretty decent because it means there's a high chance you're not getting surprised.
Okay.
That's you just stroll along and it's like, oh look, there's a guy hiding behind that barrel.
Okay, so
I'll work this spell out stuff later with you, Mike. I can't figure it out now.
No,
it's
that's fine.
understandable. It's understandable. If you
It's
need
okay.
help with that, you can always let me know too.
I tried to help him by getting him to get it out of the database, but they don't have Thornwhip in the compendium.
For some reason.
Really? Huh.
Mhm.
Gets weirder every day. So as you all close your eyes and drift off into sleep, Caleb, you open your eyes and find that you aren't in the chambers of the sleeping quarters anymore.
Uh-oh.
You open your eyes and you find yourself in the pool.
In Dagobah.
In the pool.
Actually, Yoda?
Go to the Dagobah system, you will. No.
Yeah.
You wake up in a
The
pool.
Dagobah system?
In a calm stream of water as lily pads drift by your head, as you lay back up and look around your surroundings to find yourself in the midst of a hot, humid forest of sorts, with trees as far as the eye can see, god rays filling out through the sky, passing through the tree lines, and warm fireflies passing through the darker, shadier areas of the forest, just buzzing by.
Those fireflies are shady.
Take a deep breath, bathing in the sunlight, as you look across to find your father. For I do not have a picture of him yet, but I will. A tall, jacked, muscular man with kind of leather rags of sort. He wasn't much of a always.
He was
much
an
of a
old
fan of
adventurer. He was an old adventurer turned to a logging camp, basically because adventuring became too hard on his life. But he was only good at swinging an axe, so he eventually became a logger.
With a long gray mullet, a thick gray beard, and just without an axe in his hand, for the first time you've seen in quite a while, and instead it's just legs crossed, stained in the water, closing his eyes, keeping to himself.
I kind of lean in close, kind of, Father, what is this place? Something's not right here.
Ah, I was wondering about that too, my boy. I haven't seen a forest like this in quite some time.
This area reeks of magic. I don't know. Why are you here?
Surely I'm here for a reason. As usual. I...
He begins coughing profusely.
Rushing over. I try to do anything. I don't know. I'm going to roll medicine at this point because there's nothing I can do.
All right, make me a medicine check. Ugh.
You've always
You
heard.
have no idea what's going on. He's probably just an old man.
You've always heard punching a man in the gut will always help when they're having a coffee.
No.
And this is a great time for my hiccups. God damn it. He's just like... And you see his skin begin to wither away as each and every hair on his body slowly falls off, and his skin grows thinner and thinner and thinner until all of the muscle in his body has seeped away and there is nothing but a skeleton and a husk left behind. As the skeleton sinks into the water slowly turns blood red, along with the branches slowly filling up with this blood red liquid as all of the trees become red. And before you know it, a tree behind you comes crashing down, and you awake. Oh. Goddamn hiccups.
Well, that was that escalated quickly.
Certainly did. I was glad I could get through that without dying. Sorry, give me a sec.
I wish his dad felt the same way.
So, you all awake at this point. Marshawn, you notice that Caleb is a little bit more shaken than what you're used to.
I will look at him. It's just like, you okay over there, buddy?
A weird dream last night. Something... magic. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Alright, as you are
that went
talking...
through the mute.
You hear the clicking of high heels down a nearby hallway as Cassandra graces your presence once again, hands behind her back, looking a bit more stern than usual, and that's saying something coming from her. She kind of looks to you all and says, I hate to interrupt your beauty sleep, but the director wants to see the three of you now, as she marches off.
Well, good morning to you too. And she's basically gonna step out of bed and she's basically gonna say, okay, Caleb, you said something about magic, but I feel like we should talk about it later, okay?
More time for this later.
Yes.
There's work to be done.
I can't wait to hear what the director has to say this time. And you all head upstairs. And for the first time, you head to the director's chambers.
Oh, we just left Clayton unconscious in the middle of the floor there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me fix that. Let me fix that.
Just wake back up and he's still there, or just snoring
He
and
was having a
drooling.
nap.
You all
Yeah.
approach the director's door
Cut. Reset.
for the first time, and you notice that it's locked. And in fact, you hear a voice come from the side. It's like, give me 1 second. Oh, sorry about that, madam. Just open the damn thing. As the door to the director's office is now open, as you step inside, is this beautiful kind of dome-like space of mahogany wood and warm chandeliers and all sorts of bookcases and different files and all sorts of like pictures and files strung up against the wall. As you notice, the director kind of sitting on her own, looking through some paperwork with some very dainty little reading glasses. You also notice a tall Goliath woman with a fancy hat and a black dress covered up by a white suit, as she is kind of beginning to pour assorted teas that smell like beautiful symphony of fruits and honeys in one place, as she pours you all a cup of tea along with the director, placing it down on a nearby table, asking for cream and sugar.
None for me, thank you.
Just like, I'll take it.
Cream and sugar, please. And says, will that be all, director? Yes, that'll be fine. Please leave. Good. And the Goliath woman steps out as the gate shuts very quickly behind you all, as the director looks through the paperwork and says, now, I believe there was mention of the mission going smoothly last night.
I can't just look at Caleb and just be like, yeah, I guess.
No slip-ups or misdeeds in the process?
The mission was to get him out and get him out alive. That's what we did.
Yes. And tell me then, why Luxley Murdoch, on his day off in his new position, and she rolls over to another desk with her wheelchair, pulls out 3 pieces of paper and says, tell me, if the mission went so smoothly, why did Luxley give me this? And she passes out 3 papers onto the desk, just tosses them right there, almost sliding right off the desk from the way she throws it, and you see 3 wanted posters with your faces on it. One of Marjani, one of Caleb, one of Kenopi. Kenopi and Marjani are left unnamed. However, Caleb, your name is on there. Caleb Forson. And each bounty says, House Caniff is demanding any information about these culprits to be brought forward. Any information provided will be rewarded with 100 gold pieces.
Just 100 gold? Oh, wow.
I'm worth twice that.
That is what you took from this? You're all wanted criminals now, you idiot! No, director, I can explain. No, I very much like our newcomers to explain this one.
You asked us to get a man off of a flying balloon in the middle of the city with nobody watching. I'd like to see you do something better.
As he is saying that, I'm just gonna be like, no.
The director just looks at you with furrowed eyebrows, saying, it's like, another word out of you and I'll have your head. Now, as for you, perhaps you'd like to be more civil about this and explain what happened. And looks to you, Marjani.
Marjani will look at her and she will basically say, okay, it seemed like there was a bit more, information that was left out, particularly that other houses would be there. Particularly, I can't remember the house. What was the vigilante house called again?
House Denif?
Denif, yes.
Great. House Denif gets involved, and 3 of you got into trouble, and now House Caniff is asking for Dark Lantern's help in their investigation against Clayton's sudden disappearance. Thanks to the guards not being able to help them. And now I can't even trust my own agents to take care of the situation.
I mean, and she'll basically stand up and basically say, if anything, I understand that you're very upset about this whole situation.
Oh, did you get that now?
But she will basically kind of squint her eyes and do that. Regardless, we did try our best to get this stiff done. Understand? We did bring him here, and if anything, the three of us might have gotten caught. But Alon and Marius are still out there. At least they are the ones who are basically, they're still able to get outside and basically survey the city, even though the three of us aren't.
Yes, and concerns me they haven't returned either, but I suppose that's fish to fry for another day. As for the three of you, you're right. You are new to this. It was a pretty ambitious mission, I will admit, which is the only reason why I'm not asking for each of your resignations right now. Even me, zip it! Now, the twins on the second floor have some new missions available for the three of you. And I suggest you perhaps find some new identities until this mess blows over as you try to solve them.
Marshani will look at her and basically be like, I think that's the reason. I think that would be the best case in this situation. And she's just gonna raise, and she's basically gonna think about it. If for say we are able to sway, the community to, be in our favor, I think that would be the best approach right about now.
I think I'll be... Oh, actually, make me a persuasion check.
Cool. Because the main idea would just be, clear our names because they saw us, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't know that we were involved with it.
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed recently. I mean, we can bribe some town criers,
exactly.
Rip down the wanted posters,
or
just hide in the bush for the longest time.
Damn it.
And then they won't remember us.
Yeah.
I think I'll decide what's best for my own agency. Thank you.
Just that is fair. I'm sorry.
Now, I will not be seeing any more screw-ups. Is that to be understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I'll make sure they don't screw up in the future. No, I'm putting you on something else, Kenobi. Our new agents can handle the new missions from here.
No, never.
Hold on, big beard. As basically Marsha just puts a hand on him, is just be like, "Come on, buddy. Are you really saying that you can't handle this on your own? You really need a little dragon."
I'll be putting a different mission to watch over I'll be putting a different agent to watch you over. Someone more capable. Kenobi says, ma'am, look, if I had any idea this would track back to us, I would have mentioned it. Save it for the after mission report. That'll be all, Kenobi. As for the two of you, don't fuck this up. Because these bastards want your head. I'm damn well tempted to feed you to them.
As Marshani just kind of as she basically just massages her temples and just be like, I hope that it wouldn't come to this, but yeah, sure.
The face palms intensifies and she says, that'll be all of you. That'll be all.
Okay.
Sneaky snake. All we do is sneak.
Yes. As Marjani is just continuing, just like, okay, came to the city to help people, but now people want my head. That's wonderful. It's great.
That's how city goes. You don't consume city consume you.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, and I did promise, I did promise Simon that I would keep out of trouble, that I wouldn't do anything, and I'm guessing that if you see those posters,
Simon?
My mentor.
Ooh, not good enough mentor, it seems. I kid, of course.
It just kind of glares at you and just be like,
No, you all
What did you say about pretty lady, tiny man?
No, I'm sure you all did good job. You all did good job. I just, of course, it's director always picky. A way to give newcomers how you say thicker skin.
Okay, as you're basically saying this, yeah, she's basically saying this. Marjane is just gonna slump in the chair, basically trying to figure out what her next plan is just gonna be like. It's like, okay. I could figure this. I've been in worse scrapes. I've avoided stuff like this before. But in this case, I can't basically run away from them. In this case, can't run away from an entire city. But probably try something. And she's basically gonna look at Caleb and she's gonna be like, Do you have any plans, big guy? She's basically just kind of out of options at this point. She's basically just looking for anything.
There's nothing more we can do at this point. I'm going to just do what I can. I'm not the sneaky type, so I'm going to sit here and wait until something or someone needs to be chopped, and that's all I can do.
Well, I guess for now we should plan our next course of action. I guess identities would be good. And she did say that we need to, get to the twins below there. I guess they have something that can help us.
That's the only lead we have, and I guess that's our best option.
Okay.
Perhaps they can help us with some identities.
All right.
All right. Give me a second. My battery is almost dying, and my sister took the transformer. So I'll just be like, a.
Yep.
Transformers.
Well, what's in this, guys? Yeah, take it. Oh. God, these hiccups are bugging the crap out of me. Sorry, guys.
Caleb's gonna need a new haircut and a shave.
No. The fact that he needs a haircut at all is scaring him. Can't take off 1 inch, man.
We'll cut him down to a nice close cropped military look, and he can have his alternate identity be military man.
Nice.
Well, I've got Path of the Totem Warrior Bear, so regardless, I'm always going to be hairy and muscular.
All right.
Well, you'll be muscular, that's for sure. But if you shave your beard down and trim it nice and pretty like, and cut your hair short, you'll be all good.
All right.
No one would recognize Caleb then, except for his talk. We'd have to work on his speech.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got everything down.
All right. So you all head down. The two of you head downstairs, and you see that the information room is far busier than before. Like, there are gnomes and halflings all over the place carrying huge piles of paperwork. You almost bump into one Caleb. He's like, "Yeah, watch it, bub," and he kind of scurries around you. Considering the first mission has been done here in quite some time, it's not too surprising that they're going through loads of paperwork, and the twins kind of see you and sigh a little bit, and as the sister kind of eagerly walks up to you, and she's like, "Oh, I suppose I should..." It's like, "Oh, wow, congratulations on your first mission. It couldn't have been easy." Yes,
Marjani just kind of looks at her. It's just going to be like, "I'm guessing with that you have other things to say, correct?"
No complaints here. I mean, I'm not too happy that we had to put off the map maker, but should be happy with how the mission turned out. Oh, don't sweat the director. She always does that to newcomers, and she still does it to me, so she's just trying to give us some thicker skin around here. I wouldn't take it too seriously. I wouldn't take it seriously at all, but we'll agree to disagree on that. Anyways, director will have my head if we don't get to the point. Oh, yes, of course. And she pulls out several files, and if you look out in the handout folders, you should shortly see... 1 second. You should shortly see files pertaining to mission files. And how this works is that you have several missions to choose, and the next few sessions will be based around that mission.
Oh, cool.
So feel free to look through the options. I'm showing them one by one.
Uncovering the Lost Doctor.
Alright.
It's tough enough for my house to keep up with all the healing requests right now, and we don't need our own house members to steal our own supplies and run off to the gods run off to God knows where. Our house members are the name of Olivia Legaballo. I'm not sure if that's
Legallo.
Honestly, I thought he was doing a bit.
Stole a hefty amount of our spell-casting material and other substances and ran off, and we don't have the manpower to find her, and the gods refuse to help. Objective: find the lady and bring her back to the house, along with the healing supplies, if possible.
And what does the second one say? Let's keep this going.
Yeah,
okay,
honestly, when you started talking, I thought he was doing a bit, because,
Down to the Littlewood Estate.
Yes.
Request from House Galandia, mark of hospitality. Date of request, the 30th of Baracus.
And for reference,
1000 YK.
Sorry, real quick. The date is the 31st of Baracus, and Baracus is basically August, so it's near the end of summer. Sorry, go on.
Expected time frame, 2 to 3 hours. Request. Our house agent discovered a group of vagrants entering the Littlewood Estate, one of the oldest mansions in the city that we plan to do some renovations on in the near future. As you'd expect, this brings up quite a few problems to our house. Objective, search the house top to bottom and ensure that no vagrants or unwanted guests are left behind.
Okay.
And last but not least, Jovo, why don't you read the
All
last
right.
one?
Okay, good. All right, request from the Dark Lantern. More specifically, Arthur.
Which
30th
Arthur
of-
is the brother. Sorry, just
All
for
right.
each reference.
All right. 30th of Baracus, 1000
YK.
YK?
Yeah, that's
YK.
the current year. It is.
Okay. All right. Expected time frame 5 to 10 hours. Request. As I mentioned yesterday, there's still the matter of my map maker going quiet on me. And as you would expect, he still hasn't gotten back to me. And I'm starting to get pretty worried. Now, I'm well aware that this technically isn't technically as important as the other missions, but I'll remind you that losing our only map maker in the city could put us up pretty far behind. Not to mention, he's a good man, one of the few left in the city, if you ask me. Objective? Find out where Zaldo the map maker is hiding out, protect him from any danger, and uncover why he hasn't gotten back to the Dark Lantern in so long. If he needs protection, please find a way to provide it. Okay?
And now we're pretty low on agents at the moment, so unfortunately it'd be advised that you take one mission at a time, and I apologize for the looks out of our last mission that was added to the folder. Look, I think that's for the agents to decide, not us. Technically, you're not supposed to make requests for the Dark Lantern, so you let me worry about that, alright? And just see what the agents decide to do. Now, here's the thing. Technically, Marius is not here. So,
Okay.
Marius, do you want to be
Correct.
involved in the process of choosing the mission? Or are you willing to make it so they decide the mission for you? Whichever you're comfortable with, I'm comfortable with.
Well, at the moment, I don't think that Marius or Elan even know that we have an option. So if they were to just walk up and be like, hey, we've got our next mission, Marius would probably be like, okay.
Alright, fair enough. So, Caleb and Marjani, which mission will you choose?
All right.
Okay.
Well, so the first one is find the doctor.
The doctor.
Bring her back and
Doctor
find out
who?
the thing. We know this.
Not quite.
Okay. So it doesn't sound too sneaky.
Mhm.
The second is go into the old house, clear it out of vagrants. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. The vagrants
third-
part.
And the
Sorry, go
third
ahead.
is find the map maker. We need to find where he's hiding and protect him from danger. So a long escort mission.
Mhm.
Or at
Okay.
least that's what my brain is saying.
Yeah. That one is like. Okay.
My-
So.
My brain, I'm leaning towards mission number 2 down the Littlewood Estate, down to the Littlewood Estate. Search that house from top to bottom and ensure no vagrants or unwanted guests are left behind.
Okay. Well, in character, Marjani is more of like taking care of the poor. The way she would probably go about this would be, if we take like option number 2, is that she depends on the situation. She would try to be more peaceful in this situation because, vagrants really don't have a home in this case. So she would feel some sort of pity with them other than, going gung-ho and basically, killing all of them in like one swoop.
Aye.
All right.
Sounds very anti-murder hobo-ish.
Yes, very. We have a murder
But the
hobo at the
murder
peak.
hobo murder is fun.
Oh,
Hobo murder.
Oh, why you gotta say
Um,
that?
for I don't know, and the way she would think about it is that we should probably get more people on our side, because right now there's a lot of people who want us dead. But on the other hand, getting requests from people who, getting requests from, that would probably keep us well hidden would also be good. At least that's the frame of mind she would probably go by. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like fun.
All right.
Okay.
So which mission are you going for?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number
All
2.
Right. Takes out, places the mission down. Stamp. Mission accepted. Down to Lilwood Estate will be the adventure to carry on for the next few sessions, along with our new guest. While this is happening, let's see what Marius and Alon are up to.
Yay! Alright, so before I go to bed the night before, I am going to take 3 coins. I'm using my Tinker tools. I'm going to use my magical tinkering to create them so that they glow.
Make me a Tinker Tools check.
Okay. I don't think there's an actual roll normally with this, but I will.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, if it's just cosmetic is what you're going for, then fair enough. You kind of whip out your tinkering tools and you kind of do a bit of a spit and shine process, but you also, like, kind of dig into the coins and implant some, like, glowstone dust so the gold coins begin to glow. This very glaring, very bright glow that kind of almost blinds you when you look at it from a certain angle. Like, jeez.
Yep. They glow in a 5 foot. They glow 5 feet bright and an additional 5 feet dim. So that's not an issue. What this does, though, is by creating 3 of them that night, those invitations that I had created?
Yes.
They just become blank sheets of paper that they have stored in their piles right now.
Nice.
So that there's no evidence.
As you kind of take the invitations,
I don't have to take the invitations. The invitations just lose whatever's on them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So the writing on it just begins to fade away until they are just blank pieces of paper. As you're kind of playing around with the light from the coins, Elantra's like, can you point that in the other direction, please? As she's trying to sleep.
All right. So once I've done that, I go to bed for the night. I tuck them into pouches so that they're not glowing everywhere. And then I go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning...
Make me a perception check as you wake up.
Okay. Perception...
As you wake up, as the sunlight peers through the nearby window, wake up from the hard floor is a bit uncomfortable, but after a while you kind of got used to the space. Not sleeping on bed is a little bit tough, but manageable. Alondra is not in her bed.
Okay.
However, you hear a commotion downstairs. Not a bad commotion, but just a commotion of presumably Ash and her neighbor waking up, kind of helping themselves to a sort of breakfast. They can smell a faint whiff of eggs downstairs, and the thumping, presumably the thumping of your friendly neighborhood cog.
All right. So I'm going to go downstairs. Well, I'm going to get dressed first. I'm going to cast Prestidigitation on my clothes to keep them nice and clean. If she has a wash basin upstairs, I'm going to wash up and everything.
All right. So use the Prestidigitation spell as your symbol lights up, and all the dirt, scars, and anything along those lines across your body, across your clothes, just instantly begin to fade away. And any holes in your clothes kind of re-sew themselves. Potentially caused from the commotion you tried to stir up, involving a certain knocking out as you head downstairs. And you see Ash just carrying like a frying pan with steak and eggs, like in Twister, and just like giving like steak to the dwarf as he cuts into little pieces for the baby. Even though this baby probably shouldn't have pieces of steak, but that's beside the point. She also flips on some eggs, and he's like, scramble their sun side up. Just snaps to you, Marius, before you even say anything.
Sunny side, I guess.
Sun side it is. Gotta give me the tough job. And,
have you seen Elise?
oh, yeah, Lisa just went out for a walk this morning, said she'd be right back. And you see that Cog is, like, holding up the baby and just spinning in 360 degrees still. But the baby likes it. The baby is entertained by this, and he's like, oh, can you please put my baby down? Oh, this one is sorry. This one insisted that it climbs into my arms, and this one opened up a gift to the small one. Please put him down. Oh, if this one insists. And he places the baby down, still spinning his head 360 degrees. Oh, right. This one is back. Oh, it can finally stop. Whew. And the head just stops like 180 degrees back as everyone just looks at it, mouths agape, and the baby begins to cry, and he's like, what? Oh, right. This one has to get used to this. Excuse me. And spins the head back in the right direction.
All right. Marius will sit down at the table. Mm-hmm. Ash.
Uh-huh.
While
giving you some sunny side eggs.
Yeah. When we go to work today, do you think you'd be able to assist me a little bit when I'm crafting my armor? Having some help might make it a little easier.
Oh, I don't know, kiddo. Without Clayton around, I'm sure the workload's gonna get a little intense.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
Yeah, sorry, kiddo. If I could help you, I could, but I know for a fact your fucking father's gonna give me a handful. But enough about that. Let's talk about you. Tell me about that pretty little fiance of yours. Oh, wait, is that who we walked into with last night? Caused all of that ruckus?
Yes.
I don't think they were the ones causing the ruckus. It was probably those hooded pricks again. Somebody should give those idiots a piece of their mind. Believe them. You know, they'll just bitch at someone else if they stop bitching at us. You know how it goes. But come on, tell me about the girl. Where'd you meet?
Well, we're actually fairly new acquaintances. I met her at the party, really, and she's taken a liking to me, and she talked to my father.
And just like that, you're hitched, ready to go?
I guess she and my father made most of the dealings. As he takes a sip of his orange juice.
I mean, technically you're not lying, so I'm not gonna make you do a deception check. And he's like, the dwarf is crying and saying, "It's beautiful. It's love at first sight." I don't know, Marius. That woman's pretty, but she could be a catch if she's one to hitch on so quickly. I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but oh, come on, don't say anything so ridiculous. Oh, here she comes right now. And Elantra passes through the door, looking a bit bewildered, but trying to look happy for the welcoming guests. It's like, how do you want your eggs? Sunny side up, please, and medium rare steak. Honey, can I talk to you for a second? And she kind of takes your arm, Marius.
Sure.
And pulls you aside for a second and says, good morning.
Good morning.
You might want to take a look at this. And she pulls out several wanted papers. One for Marjani, one for Caleb, and one for Kenobi. And Marjani and Kenobi are left unidentified, but Caleb has his name on there. And so request from House Caniff to bring them in for 500. Have any information found on these 3 people and be rewarded with 100 gold pieces.
Well,
yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. What the hell are we gonna
do? Nothing that we can do.
Damn, yeah, if that idiot didn't yell at the person at the front gate, we wouldn't be in this mess. At least we're in the clear, at least for now. Are we still going to the factory later?
Yes, I'm going to the factory. You're going to do what we had said. And then make certain you're not followed. And then we will meet back up at the factory for the end of the evening.
Alright, sounds good. And you all head downstairs, enjoy a lovely breakfast, before heading out to continue on with your duties. The next mission, and the strange consequences of your actions, as the agents of change will continue to persevere. And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
All right, before we do end, can I make my at my factory my rolls for my armor?
Yeah. Well, since you're not going through the process of building a warforge, you'd only really have to do the first 2 steps. So that will be an athletics check to like scrape in the scrap metal, and that would also be a
Smith's tools?
Smith's tools check.
All right, I'm going to have Cog
Yeah.
move the scrap metal as the first one for me,
And
because he's a little more athletic than I am.
all right, so he will make a athletics check for that. Yeah, he's just very efficiently, just not even looking the other direction, shoveling all sorts of scrap metal down the conveyor line, giving you plenty to work with to forge some armor, as you're kind of standing in the hot, fiery chambers of the smithing chamber.
The first thing I'm going to do before I start actually crafting is I'm going to cast guidance upon myself, so that I get my Smith's roll, my D4 for being from House Caneth, and my D4 from my guidance.
Alright, so make sure to add those bonuses to your roll.
So 16 is the
That's
base.
already pretty high.
Plus 2d4 plus 4 more, so I got
Clink,
a 20 in total for
clink,
crafting it.
Clink! Clink! After a pretty rough and tumble smithing section and learning from your mistakes before, you managed to craft yourself a beautiful piece of, you said breastplate, right?
Well, if I could do half plate, I will.
With a 20, I will allow half plate. A wonderful, beautiful set of kind of bronzed half plate armor, as you kind of lift it up in the air, admiring your work in the beautiful lava lights. Not only is it a half-plate armor, but given what Matt mentioned earlier about scrap metal being formed into potentially better armors, it is a +1 to your AC, given your high roll.
And after I've crafted the armor, I'm going to imbue it with my infusion, which I'm updating right now because I can change that when I level up.
You kind of use a blowtorch to make sure there was a hole in the center of the chest, and you take your infusion and you kind of like the power cores in the power armor in Fallout. You just stick it into the center of the machine and it begins to light up with what color?
Well, no, not that one. That's automatic when I actually attune it to myself. The armor becomes part of me, basically. I can don it and doff it, and I have the little infiltrator lightning bolt thingy coming from my chest. But the main thing that I'm doing is my infusion. I'm putting the replicate magic item, glamour weave, on it.
Nice. So we'll say that is what you stick into it. So it kind of turns into this lovely, kind of purple glow as the glamour.
Well, okay, yeah, it doesn't stay glowing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
I'm just trying to sound flashy and it's not working.
Okay.
So you describe how you'd like this armor to turn out.
So the armor itself, once it's all finely crafted and everything else, is a beautiful set of half-plate armor. It's a very nice silver coloration. It has gold accents along it. And emblazoned on the chest is the House Caneth symbol. The glamour weave actually gives it 4 other appearances. So out of those 4 appearances, the next one is going to be a sleek black armor. And these aren't being shown when I cast the glamour weave because it's not going to happen while I'm in House Caneth. But it's a sleek black armor. It looks very aerodynamic. It looks like it's very form-fitting as well. It has little accents of red in different areas, but it's mostly all black, and it's more of a matte than a shiny black. The next one is going to look like the stereotypical knight in shining armor. Very nice, highly polished, almost looks like parade square armor more than anything else. The other one is going to be a very worn set of armor, dings and dents in it, looks like it's been very well used, a little bit of tarnish to it because of age, etc. And then the final one of the appearances is going to make me appear to be a warforged while wearing it.
Now that's more like it.
Yes. So when he actually dons the armor for the first time, and he attunes himself to it, much like an Iron Man, the suit itself basically
Forms around you, yeah.
and covers the entire body. He can pop the helmet off as part of it without taking off the rest of the armor. And to don or doff the armor, it is only one round. It basically goes away into a hidden compartment on his back.
Cool.
God damn.
Nanomachine, son.
That's the perfect way to end our session. Thank you guys so much for coming in tonight. We will keep you posted on either or not this will run on Sundays in the future. I still need to mull over the details on that, so nothing's set in stone just yet. Have a wonderful night. You're all fantastic people.
And until next time, remember, stay safe, stay healthy, stay nerdy, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.